Hey, welcome back to an episode of Instagram Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host with me. Hey, Trip.
What's up, dude?
Nothing much, man. How's it going? You being so far away from me.
Yeah, so I got sick. Don't know how. Been trying to figure that out. You're the only human that I have direct contact with, usually.
So what you're saying is Gemby got you sick. So we're not in the same room, but it's okay. We're used to this. This feels like we're home. Speaking of things that we're used to, let's fucking talk about something we love talking about.
It's great. We have a new theme for all of our podcasts. No longer a holiday podcast. We are now a Promised Neverland podcast. We're talking about the live action Promised Neverland movie that came out in 2020. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. What's funny is I was like, oh man, we gotta find something to do for the week. And you were having a hard time finding a movie. And you're like, dude.
I was just like, I just can't find any anime movies.
You're like, dude, there's no more movies. I was like, oh, dude, we fucking did it. We fucking, the well is dry. And I was like, what about live action garbage? And you're like, oh, dude. Fuck, I forgot that was an option. And then when I found out there was a live action Promised Neverland, I was like,
yeah,
yes. How many times can we squeeze this fucking rock? And you know what?
As many times as we could erased.
Yeah, because there was a live action movie for Erase. There was the live action drama that was on Netflix. There was the fucking show. There's even the manga we could talk about. Yeah, we've talked about Promised Neverland so much. I'm just there could be a second one of these, and I'm excited for whenever that comes out. Because that just means
potentially. It was a little open-ended, but at the same time, it feels like maybe they're just using even more confusing imagery than the manga or television show did. But there are a couple of moments where I was like, oh, they're changing stuff.
Yeah. Hey, dude, what if, just hear me out, what if the second live action movie, did it right? They absolutely nailed the second part of the fucking, we got,
bravo, man, bravo. If
how great.
Goldie Pond,
how
but
sick
that would be like a third movie, probably.
Yeah, well.
Maybe.
No, I think what you could do is, hold on. Can you do Goldie Pond without doing the flashback stuff?
Yeah, so flashbacks could come late. Well, the thing is, Goldie Pond is so big.
Yeah, it's huge.
You would have to end in Goldie Pond.
Dude, that's nothing that we haven't seen in live action movies before, where they go, hey, it's part 1 and part 2. Get fucked. So yeah. Anyways,
and
I feel like,
dude, these live action movies are always so long. This movie was 2 hours long, and I was like, how could it be 2 hours long? And I watched it. And it's because they put everything in there.
Yeah.
Whoa, this is dense.
When I was talking to you, I was like, hey, dude, it's just the first season. So have fun with the first season. Because the first season's 12 episodes? Yeah?
Yeah, 12 or so episodes, yeah.
So they managed to boil that down to 2 hours. Dude, good for them.
They did. There are a couple of things that they didn't cover, in a lot of detail.
And stuff that they just kind of jumped over.
But mostly I was just impressed that they were able to get so many different story beats in there, even if it wasn't as good or compelling.
Absolutely.
We'll get into it later.
Into it later. It's kind of funny how excited.
This was really interesting because of how much Promised Neverland we have experience with at this point.
Yeah. it's funny how excited I am to talk about this dumb live action movie. But yeah, is it a must watch? I'll tell you right now. No, but it was something. So
wait, hang on. Does it beat season 2?
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Season 2 is horrible. There you go. Absolutely. I like the first 2 episodes of season 2. I'm not gonna lie. Those were fun.
Hey, there's nothing to knock about those. I was like, oh cool. They're kind of slowly changing some information. They're not exactly telling everything. I'll just fill in the little details here and there. And then by episode 3, it was like, what am I doing? Yeah. What am I doing here?
It's, you know what? It was one of those things where it's an accent that you can't look away from. Because after it was I was like, you were having a horrible time. But I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see what happens. I got to keep watching this. Just to then go read the manga and be like, wow, they really fucked that up.
Yeah, I guess you did have different drive and incentive while watching it compared to me, who was like, they're ruining my baby. Which The whole fucking time, dude. I'm like, what are they doing? It's so easy. It's all right there. It's just in the books. Just look at the books. Go to the books. What are you doing?
You know what? It's like I know that Erase has been one of those like shows that I was like, this could be great, and it's proven. And the live action Netflix drama is awesome.
They did it good. Yeah.
It could also, in my opinion, that show could be translated to like a Western audience, and like they could, and I think it would be like it could be on like AMC, could be on fucking HBO. I think it'd be great.
Sure.
I think it'd be super sick if Promise Neverland was like an HBO show, because they would have the budget to do it.
We're talking about like they just did the Golden Compass series.
Yes, yeah.
His Dark Materials.
Yeah, shit like that.
Like they had kids involved in that. They had a lot of kids involved in that.
I think
Game of Thrones had that one little girl that was in charge of that small land, and she was in His Dark Materials, and she killed it.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, HBO can find these kids and just like put them into every HBO show, and they can absolutely crush it, man. Well, so if they did decide to do some Promised Neverland shit, that would be dope. But
probably not. But
I also feel like this movie did a pretty good job at a lot of the kids. The main ones, maybe not great.
Yeah, I agree.
They like Phil. I was like, I believe that. I'll take that, Phil. We'll get into it later.
Yeah. But what I'm saying,
I can't stop talking about it.
What I'm saying is like, I think the story of Promise Neverland, like the manga, all of that, you could still make that into HBO, and I would still be so fucking down for it.
Yeah, probably. I think that HBO would do a really good job at setting it up, but then as far as like all the like little kids, because the thing that was taking me out of the live action movie so much was their emotions, and they're like, oh, we have to do this, and like, oh, we're being deceitful, but we're children, and whatever. It works so well animated in the manga, not too great with live action.
No, I agree.
And I honestly don't know how it would seem like if I'm watching an HBO high quality version. Because even with all of the great things that HBO does where they have these badass kids that are great actors, and I could totally believe them in their roles, I still think it would be like, but I don't believe that you're like a fucking hyper genius.
Yeah.
Like the children at this farm are.
I get what you're saying. All right, that's enough. No more talking about this until we talk about this.
Yeah. So how have you been? What's your week been like, man?
Cool, man.
You've done cooler stuff than I have.
Yes, I've probably done more stuff than you have. So we'll talk about me for like an hour, and then we'll talk about you for an hour, and then we'll talk about this thing for an hour.
Yes.
Okay, so I was gonna mention it last week, but I forgot, and then you said save it up. So guess what, boys? It's time for Fantasy the Challenge.
Yes, sir. It is. We got some extra challenge.
We talked about that we did the draft. The draft was done. Last week was week 1. Actually, last week was week 2. 2 weeks ago was week 1. Today's week 3. I am currently in the lead. I killed it fucking week 1. And the only reason I killed it is because I played the right person, and they happened to go to elimination, happened to win.
A little bit of luck, whatever.
And then week 2, I picked up a player because one of my players was just sent home, randomly. Not randomly. I mean, he got COVID, and so they had to send him home.
Whoa.
And then they brought in a new guy named Ed from Netflix's The Circle, which is another Garbo show that I've seen. Yep. And I was like, oh, dude, I know who this guy is. I'm picking that guy. Picked him, played him. He also went to elimination, and he won. So I was like, dude, these are just... Look at all these fucking points on my face. So I think like a strong lead. I think I have like 90 points, and the second place is somewhere around like 40, maybe.
Okay.
And
nice.
then I think Sierra's in second. She's above Jero by 3 points, and then Steph, who is Jero's fiance, has like 20 points. She's been doing awful, which is great. I think it's good. They seem to still be enjoying it. Like, every week I email them or text them and go, hey, don't forget to pick up your players on Sunday. And then on Wednesdays I go, hey, don't forget to set up your lineup. And they're like, okay, cool. How does this work again? I like, remember, this is how it works. And Jero will just like text. Jero texted me the lineup. He's like, oh, here, I want to do this. And I go, yo, dude, first of all, how dare you disrespect the sanctity of the email? I fucking told you to email me. Don't text me. And on top of that, like, it's Saturday. You don't have to set up your line up to Wednesday. You have all of that time to send me an email. He goes like, oh, my bad. Is it cool if I just text you? I was like, I just told you no. You can't fucking text me. So he's like,
why are you putting him on blast on the podcast?
Fuck him. Fuck him. He's not following the rules. Steph's super nice. Steph, like she picked up a player or whatever, and she then texted me. He's like, hey, can you check if I did it right? And I looked at it, I was like, hey, absolutely. You emailed me. The only thing was that your subject title for the email was wrong. Just name it this instead. And like, technically, you don't have to tell me this information. It's okay that you put it there, but it's not necessary. And besides that, yeah, you're good. You know, she's like, okay, thank you. I was like, dope. That's how you handle a fucking game. Like, fucking, you learn, and Jiro's just doing it all ass backwards, which is fine. He's a man, and you know how men be. So, anyways,
got to do it.
Doing good, having a good time, just enjoying the show. That's it. That's all there is for the challenge. I'll let you know what the rankings are, what the standings are next week when
keep it up, dog. When
week 3 is wrapped up. Okay. I'll get into this because you have some information to say about it, but I actually enjoyed it. I was able to go to it.
The fuck are you talking about?
I went to Kate's baby shower. Yeah. Friend of the podcast, fucking superstar guest host Kate, having a baby. She got a baby in her stomach. Got a baby boy in her stomach. And she had a baby shower. It was co-ed baby shower that she invited us to. Super cool about it. I think that she was telling us that everybody there had to be vaccinated and stuff. I was like, awesome. Like, that feels like super fair.
Yeah.
Because we're vaccinated. So it's like, yeah, it's not a big deal. We'll go. You were gonna go with us. You ended up not feeling too well, so
hella didn't.
So you can talk about your sickness later, but I'll to gloss over it. You weren't feeling well. You couldn't go. Sierra and I made it down there. Her aunt was hosting it in Napa Valley. Napa Valley? Napa? Is it just Napa?
It was just Napa.
I think it's just Napa. Wine country.
The Napa region.
Dude, super nice house. I wouldn't call it a mansion, but very nice house. Up a very steep hill. Like, we drove up it, and I was like, where the fuck do we park? And then a guy was like, hey, man, go down the hill, park on the street, and I'll give you a ride up. I was like, okay, cool. I just thought he was being nice. Turns out he was like the valet. Like, that was his job. His job was to run people up and down all day. So
crazy, right?
Yeah, we get up there. We say hi to Kate, congratulate her. We say hi to Abe, congratulate him. We have some mimosas. I'm not a big fan of mimosas. Sierra is, because, she's that kind of person. But there was an option to use cranberry juice instead of orange juice. And dude, I'm telling you, I'm a huge slut for cranberry mimosas.
You know that you could just put any kind of juice with
Didn't know
champagne?
That. I thought the rule was had to be orange juice.
No, dude.
Never had the option.
Tropical juices. You can do guava with it. You can do whatever you want, dog. You're gonna
never once was that an option to me. It's always been orange juice. I'm like, fuck this. But dude,
welcome to the future.
I think I might be that might be my go-to drink. I'm just gonna have like champagne and cranberry juice on hand all the time. It was so good.
It's like 9 at night. You go to the bar. Like, hey, can I get champagne and cranberry?
Cranberry, please. And a straw, thank you. We met, some of Kate's family that I hadn't met before. We played games, classic baby shower games. One of the classic ones is like the game where you can't say the word baby, and like you have like clothespins pinned onto you, and if someone says it, you're supposed to steal their pin, and like whoever has the most pins wins. That game for some reason makes me very competitive. I've been to maybe one other baby shower. Maybe, no, two.
Yeah, you've talked about it on the
two
podcast.
Other baby showers. I really enjoy it because it's very like manipulative. You like talking to someone and you try to get them to say the word.
It's really manipulative. I like it.
It's really fun. Like, I remember talking to Abe and like trying to like to finesse him, and then like he would say the word baby and I go, gotcha, bitch, let's take his pin, and Abe was like, I don't really care until I'm down to my last pin. That's when I start playing.
Then he lashes out. He's like, yeah, fuck all of you.
He's super serious. He lost his pin super quick. But there were children there that were also playing in the game, like were involved. And so I met one of them like earlier, and I was like, hey, oh, cool, nice pins. Is like, what word can't you say? And she's like, baby. He's like, gotcha. He took her pin. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, man, you're not supposed to say that word. It's like, what word? It's like, the word. And she's like, oh, okay. And she's like catching on. I was like, hey, is that your brother? It's like, yeah. I was like, is he your big brother? It's like, no. It's like, would you say he's like younger than you? He's like, yeah, that's my baby brother. It's like, boom, gotcha again, you dingus. So just keep stealing her.
Twice in them.
And I was just I was trying to teach her. Eventually, she just wouldn't talk to me. She's just like, I don't trust you. She gave up. She gave me her pins. And then on top, what's even better than that, I'm just chilling there and like minding my own business, still just trying to play the game, still talking to people. She comes up to me and she goes like, hey, I got these for you. She's like a handful of pins. And I was like, what? And I was like, okay. It was like, well, I can't take them unless you say that word. And so she would like lean over and she'd whisper baby and like, okay, cool. So I'd take her pins. And then like, I just kept accumulating pins that way. And people were like, wow, that guy got a bunch of pins. Oh, wow, that's crazy. And then someone noticed that this little girl is coming to me and giving me pins. Like, yo, that's cheating. I was like, whoa, time out. Not cheating. I didn't force her to do this. She offered herself. Like I finessed her. I fucking trained her to do this. I didn't like teach. She just was getting pins and she ended up giving it to me. So I had a bunch, but there were 2 other girls that were older girls and they did not like the way I was playing the game. They were just like mean mugging me, like fucking giving me daggers. And one of them had like the meanest face, like the evilest stank face I'd ever seen. Like if looks could kill, like I'd be fucking dead like twice over. But yeah, they were also playing hard and they were like also going to other people and be like, can you give me your pins? And like, yeah, they would give them pins because people didn't really care. Yeah. At a certain point, it was like I had pins. These 2 other girls had pins. Like Kate's like childhood friend had 3 pins. And then this other girl had like pins, not a bunch, maybe like 8. But I had like, I don't know, like 17 pins or something like that, like a shit ton. And the other girl, the older of the 2 sisters, had 20 pins or something like that. And I was like, fuck, I just can't get any more pins. Like, everybody's playing, they're holding their cards too close to the vest, all that shit. And so then I was like, you know what? I then talked to the younger sister, like, hey, if you team up with me, like, we can beat your older sister. She's like, if you give me your pins, like, I don't even care what the prize is. Like, you just give me the pins. I just want to win. And then once I get the prize, I'll give you the prize. And she's just like, no, I can't do that. And like the older, she's like, don't talk to him. Like she's like, because like
he's
I'm
evil.
Like, he's evil. Yeah, he's fucking brainwashing you. And then I lost, I think maybe 2 or 3 pins being careless. I was like, fuck. And we were getting close to being like, it's almost time for us to leave. And I was like, I kept trying to talk to the older sister, like didn't crack a deal. She's like, no, she refused. And I was like, fine. I've decided that if I can't win, you can't win either. So then I just get the younger sister, like, hey, come here. And I was like, hold out your hand. And she's like, no, I don't trust you. I was like, hold out your hand. I was like, I promise it's nothing. You'll be fine. She holds it out.
Handful of bugs.
Yes. Yeah, she holds out her hand and I just whisper, baby. And like I drop like I don't know, maybe like 8 pins, 10 pins, enough for her to go over the top. And she's like, yeah, fucking juiced. And she just like runs. It's like, oh my God, ice pins. And at that point, I'd taken all the pins off my shirt pocket and just put it in my pocket so you couldn't see me anymore. So the older sister came back. She's like, what happened to your pins? Where did they go? And I'm like, dude, this fucking giant dude with like a neck tattoo in there, big, tall, bald guy, like he got my pins, made me say baby. I'm like, I can't even give you the fucking, I don't have any pins. She's like scoping for this bald dude with like, a neck tattoo in there and like, he's not there. Eventually the younger sister tells her that I gave her the pins and she's like, that's not fair. She's like, you could have gave me the pins. I was like, yeah. And I was like, but I don't want you to win. Like, and then
right before fighting children.
Oh yeah. I'm just fighting with kids. Oh my
gosh. I love it.
And then eventually like, the older sister gets some more pins. She's catching up to the younger sister. And I was like, fuck it. She can have all my pins. So I gave all my pins to the younger sister. And I haven't confirmed with Kate. I'd hope she won. She did, as long as she didn't mess up. But it was, that was the most fun game. We'd played other games. Like we also like, had to guess, there was photos, like really close photos of stomachs. We had to guess if it was beer belly or a baby bump. We also,
classic.
There's a game called Labor or Love where it was just like close up of women either giving birth or women in compromising positions, like from pornos or shit like that. I was like,
classic.
Those were strange. I was like, people were
those are classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so fucking wild.
The way that one worked too is like we scored them all and then you had to add your points together. And I actually tied with the other person. We had 18 correct. And then the person that was running the game goes like, okay, cool. I guess we'll have a bonus round. I was like, cool. What's your bonus round? And she goes, when is Kate's due date? And I was like, I don't fucking know. How the fuck would I know that? And I was like, I don't know. October 8th, which is just Sierra's birthday. And the other girl goes, October 15th. And she's like, it's October 22nd. I was like, cool. I lost. Fucking bullshit. So I didn't win. Yeah. The other game that Sierra and I absolutely would have fucking won. They had a game where like it was like lists and you had to like write. It was like emojis, and you had to write what the emojis were, like codes or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
It was very quickly like you were able to tell that like, oh, like these are just Disney and Pixar movies. So I was like, this is fucking my bread and butter. And I was like, I was saying them so fast to Sierra that like he couldn't even keep up. Like she's just trying to scribble them down. We were done. I was like, okay, cool, we got to turn it in. And they're like, oh no, everybody's not done yet. I was like, it wasn't a race. It was just like everybody's gonna score it. But because they were so fucking easy, everyone got perfect scores. So I was like, this is
what?
I was like, what? And so the girl that's running the game goes, okay, I guess everyone wins. Yay. I was like, this is fucking horse shit. I absolutely won that one.
Did you remember when the person that figured them all out first didn't win? Even though everybody got the same score?
Yeah.
Another qualifier.
That was a bummer, dude.
Turns out that just games don't matter, Juan.
Games don't matter, dude. What was the last game?
That was just for fun, Juan.
There was one more game. It was it's usually like it's like a list from A to Z, and you have to write baby names, like
yeah.
Ashley, Brittany, and you kind of work your way down. So as soon as we flipped it over, we just started going, it was like boom, 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 like saying baby names, and then I go up and I go, hey, are the names supposed to be just girl names, or just boy names or girl names, because they're having a boy?
Yeah.
And then someone goes, the rules say you have to list baby items. I was like, what? And everybody goes, what? Everybody stops and and then they read the rules. And I was like, oh my God. So everybody has to start over. They start crossing it off. Like, cause one girl finishes and she goes like, I got them. And she's like, what are these? Like, these are names. Like, yeah, we're doing baby items, not names. Baby items was so much harder.
So hard. Oh,
it was impossible. And eventually I think Kate's aunt buzzed in and like, she's like, so then she had to read them in front of everybody to be like, okay, if that's cool. I don't know, like A, B were like fines, like, she's like applesauce, which my head was like, I didn't write applesauce. So it was like, because, that's kind of not a baby thing, but whatever. It's just a thing. But like, okay. Yeah. B was like, bib, or like, I was like, okay, that's fine. C, she wrote caca. I was like, and people goes, what's that? And she goes, it's Spanish for poop. And I was like, oh, I know it's Spanish for poop. She's like baby poop. I was like, yeah, that isn't a fucking baby item. And then as the list continued, because we'd been playing this game for so long, people were just like, let's just let her have it. Like no one's gonna actually really fucking complete this. Cause when it comes to like,
nobody gives a shit.
There were so many letters that were just impossible to get. For Z, she's just like, for Z, what'd you write? She's like, oh, I wrote like 3 Z's for sleep. I was like, that's like, and Sierra was like livid. I was like, this is fucking horseshit. Anyways,
such a cop out.
Yeah.
Like, I love those like, ooh, I wonder if I could find something to skirt around. But that I think the rule set is too clear.
Yeah.
If it's an item, it needs to be a physical
item
that's for babies, not from baby.
Exactly. I was just like, look, man,
I'm with you, but also it's a game at a baby shower,
so and it doesn't matter. And no one was gonna beat that. Like, they should have just stuck to names. They should have been like, cool, do boy names, because like make it harder. Make it so it can be done quick, but no. That was it. Games. They had tacos. The tacos were fine. Let's see what else. We talked to Abe. Oh, here's the last thing. Abe and Kate have a name for the baby. They haven't told anybody. I was like, cool. And I was like, and I was like kind of curious, like, is it like a video gamey name or like an anime-ish name, kind of thing? Like, did you name it like something after weeby or nerdy? And then Abe was like, no, it's actually like a really old school name. He was like, and I was like, okay, cool. I was like, do I know anybody else that has this name? And he's just like, oh, and so then I just started asking Abe questions about the name. I was like, is this okay? Like, I was like, are you cool with this? He's like, yeah, it's fine. I was like, because it's like one of my favorite things to do is like to guess things, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, absolutely. So then I'm just sitting there and asking Abe questions, and Abe was like, yeah, okay, kind of like that. And he would like answer stuff, and sometimes he would like give me hints. The furthest I got, so the way I was able to find this out, because I still don't know the name. I haven't confirmed it with Abe or whatever. But what I've figured out, my strategy is that this person. Okay, the name that they picked for the baby is also a name of an actor. Okay, and this actor has been in a movie recently within this last year, and he has a name of Irish descent. I was like, okay, cool. Also, I was just like, so I had to figure out. I was trying to figure out what who the director was, so they can find the movie and then find the actor. And I was like, cool, it's a British director. He has cult classic movies. I was like, cool. So I'm like sitting there trying to figure all this stuff out. And I was like, damn. And I didn't get to have a guess before I left. But I am going to text Abe and be like, hey, this is my guess. Because Abe said that if I did guess it right, he would tell me if I got it or not. Because I earned it or whatever. I don't know if Kate knows about this. But, but I was like, it's just a fun game. But yeah, I'm still working through it. It's really hard. Maybe I'll wait till like the day before the baby's born and be like, hey, is this the name? And like you're right. The name is Juan. No, it's not Juan.
Penis Bronson.
No. Michael Jordan. Yeah, that's it. The baby shower was fun. Came back. Cool. Okay. That's it. That's baby shower talk. You can talk about feeling sick later.
Fantastic. 2
more things. I watched Don't Breathe 2. It was fine. I don't think it was really necessary, like, in the grand scheme of the Don't Breathe universe. There were some really gnarly deaths, like just like brutal killing. And yeah, like the first part of the movie felt like the first movie. It felt like Don't Breathe, like, the whole like sleuthing around the house, being really quiet, moving and stuff or whatever. And the second part, it just felt like Taken. So I was like, okay, cool. So, but it's done. I think that's a great place to end the franchise. But if they want to make money, they'll keep doing it.
I mean, the fact that they made a second one was like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's probably super cheap to make. There wasn't more than, I think, like 10 actors in the entire movie. Like,
horror movies are always cheap as fuck, and it looked like it was all just like 2 set places.
Yeah, right? It absolutely was 2 sets. Yeah, for sure. There was a house and there was a hotel. That was it. So okay. And then there's places in between them, but like nothing that you had to like build a giant set or anything for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fine. I don't think it's like a must watch, but I enjoyed it. Last thing, I wanted to share the story in the pod because I have this outlet, and this outlet is a great place for me to, bring some awareness to the world. So I'm walking Vela yesterday, and we have a normal walking kind of, that we take a walk, and every time I walk by, there's this guy that has like a nice front yard with like a bunch of plants and stuff, like roses and shit like that.
Yeah.
And for the first time that I was walking by, I saw that he was working out there. He was like trimming the hedges or stuff, and I was like, okay, cool. I wasn't gonna say anything to him, but I was like, I'm just gonna keep walking. And then he looked up and like saw me and made eye contact, and he was like, oh, hello. And I was like, hello. I was like, cool. He's saying hi to me. Hey. I'll say hi to him. Like, I won't be rude. He's not like my neighbor. I'm gonna say he's my neighbor just because he's like in my neighborhood or whatever, but he's like 1 block down and like 3 blocks up from Mr. Venegas, where he lives. So he's kind of up the street. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, he's like, how are you? Good. How are you today? Great. It's like, great day. It's like, yeah, beautiful day. It's like great temperature, like just all the bullshit you say. And then right before I'm out of like earshot, I say, I'm gonna compliment his setup. And the thing I really do like in his lawn is that he has a really big nopal like tree, which is a cactus, like the flat cactus. And I was like, hey man, I really like your nopal plant. And he's just like, oh, thank you, because it's pretty big. And every time I see it, like, oh man, those are some nice looking nopales. Because I like nopales. I like to eat the pads, like, you cut them, you clean them, and you can cook them up and eat them. Growing up, that's something that I would eat a lot. And then he goes, this guy, I shit you not, he says this. I wrote it down because I wanted to like remember it the right way how he said it. He said to me, thanks. Hey, I know you guys like them. If you want, come by whenever and take them. I don't eat them. And in my head, I was just like, what a racist asshole. Like, he's just assuming because of my, my ethnicity or my culture that I like nopales. And I was like, for a second, it just kind of like shook me. I was like, he's like, I know you like them, I know you guys like them. And I was like, And then I had a second thought. I was like, I do fucking like nopales. So I was like, hey man, absolutely. Thank you so much. So then after my walk, I came back later. I took a photo of the plants. I sent to my dad. I was like, hey dad, because I'd never picked them off of a plant before. I cleaned them and cooked them myself. I'd never picked them. And he's just like, he looked at the photo and he goes like, hey, there's like, I see 5 or 6 in this photo that are like good to go. Point them out. So then I then had to go and then like mark them, like with like little, like mark them up on the photo and then send it back like these. And he goes, you did good. Like, those are the ones you got to grab. So then I grabbed them, cut them up, cooked them or whatever. And I made them, had them for breakfast today, actually. So it was great.
Oh, damn. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it was just really funny to me. I remember, like, you know, it just kept like making me laugh. Like this guy's just like, hey, yeah, I know you like those nopales. Come and eat them. I was like, yeah, okay, I do like nopales. I will go and eat them. Thank you.
But you were drooling while you were talking to him, too.
Yeah, he could see my eyes were just like fucking giant fucking hearts. It was crazy.
You never made contact with his eyes. You just looked at his cactus the whole time.
I was like Legoshi from fucking Beastar, just fucking salivating over this fucking nopal. My hands were on the raw meat, just like, I gotta eat this shit. But yeah, I just thought it was funny. The encounter I had, and you know, man, I got the plug, dude. Whenever I want nopales, he said I can come whatever. One thing I was super concerned about was getting there, because you have to cut them off with a knife. So I brought a knife and a bag, and I was just like, I really hope no one opens the door and like sees me cutting their nopales, and like it be like not the guy who said it was okay, like it be like his wife or like a daughter or a son, and then be like, hey, what are you doing here? And then you have to be like, the guy that was here earlier, because I don't know if he owns the place. So like, the guy who I saw here earlier said it was okay for me to take these, so I'm taking them. But in my head I was like, if that happens, I'm gonna be like, explain to them that's what happened, and be like, if you don't want me to take them, I can leave them here because I've already cut some off. It was like, but I will come back later when the man is here to see if I can have them, because I still really want them, because I'm fucking fiend for these things. And but luckily, like that didn't happen, so I saved myself that another maybe uncomfortable encounter with somebody saying like, what are you doing stealing my nopales?
All these damn Mexicans stealing my nopales.
Sick of you fucking Mexicans coming stealing my nopales. Yeah, it comes out the shotgun. Yeah, so
dude, that'd be fucking, oh man. Well, hey, you got the hookup, so I'm proud of you, bud.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then I was like sending, like, I was letting my siblings and my parents know and stuff, and like showing them the photos and the process, and then they really got a kick out of it. Like, hey, where'd you get them? You know, because like you can buy them at the store.
Some dude.
You know, and I was just like, it's like, oh, you're like, you guys are gonna fucking love this. And then like I told them the way I told you, and they're like, oh, that's fucked up. And they were like, that's hella funny. And then my sister goes like, yo, how the fuck did he know that you're Mexican? I was just like, well, I mean,
well, the way that you said Nepal probably. Yeah.
And I was like, I do have this fucking dope ass mustache now with no beard, so I mean, I look That's Mexican true. As fuck.
You doing the whole big Mexican thing,
and she's just like, yeah, no, you're right. I was like, thank you. That's it, man. That's the week, honestly.
What a week you've had.
Yeah, Nopales baby shower movies, fucking the challenge. It was good though. I had a good time.
Good.
What about you, man?
I have mostly just been taking it easy. Mm-hmm. Since I wasn't able to go to the baby shower with you guys.
Bummer.
I stayed in bed all day that day, so that was rad. But the day before, I went and I actually got my car completely like washed and cleaned inside and out, and got an oil change, and I was all ready for it. I was totally committed. Couldn't go. So fuck it. What are you going to do? Just keep going. And then I got sick again yesterday morning when I again was supposed to give my dad a ride. He was supposed to take his car in, so we had to reschedule that appointment. So I'm just fucking bailing on everybody and feeling like shit for doing it.
I mean, you didn't bail on me.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky I feel good today. You know, and when I say I feel good, I mean my entire body is tired. All my muscles hurt. I haven't had like fever or anything, but I've just been like having a bad time.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty tired right now. But we're running off of some Advil, and this is getting us through. Or ibuprofen, whatever the fuck.
You got that liquid gel, dude? Because that's the only way to do it. You know how I feel about Advil liquid gel.
I do know how you feel, but nah.
You should have told me. I would have got you some Advil liquid gel and left it for you.
Different purposes, my guy.
Same, dude. Same, but different.
So yeah, I've mostly just been like vibing and playing games and watching shit, but like nothing too intense. So I got really into Adventure Time again, and I watched a fuckload of that. There's like a whole, I think it was 7-ish, maybe it was 8 episode story arc that focuses on Marceline and her like essentially getting Metroided. She loses all of her powers. She has to get them all back. Kind of situation. And they totally change up the intro and outro for it, and I was super surprised. I didn't know about it, but I do remember when they were like, oh yeah, there's gonna be like some big Marceline stuff coming by Adventure Time back in the day.
Is Metroided, is that like the video game? Like, do you lose all your weapons at the beginning at the
at the beginning of every Metroid, it's like, you are the bounty hunter, Samus Aran. You're fucking awesome, and you need to kill everything. But anyways, go and get all your powers back. You just lost them down a drain, is what like always happens.
Okay.
Like, okay, I guess I gotta do it. So yeah, she through story elements loses them. It was a pretty interesting story arc. I liked it. Gave a lot of backstory perspective to her about how she became a vampire and stopped aging, and what she
was a vampire.
She was born
as a child.
Her dad.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, her dad is the king of the like
Nightosphere or something like that.
Nightosphere. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know why I remember that.
I couldn't remember it at all. I was like, evil. Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, he's the king of the Nightosphere, and that's essentially just like a demon thing.
Okay.
Because I also thought that she was a vampire since birth, but that explained her ears and why she's aged.
That does make more sense.
Stopped aging. Yeah. Because they've had flashbacks of her as a kid hanging out with other characters.
Yes.
They also gave backstory to Princess Bubblegum, where she came from, and her like name and stuff. So everyone's just calling her Bonnie. And I'm over here like, this is mind-blowing shit, man. Who would have thought this kids show would suddenly be like, hey, we have the weirdest world of all time. What if we explained it? And then they start giving like, oh yeah, this character's from this thing, and they're a part of that, and that's why they have this connection to the world, and that's how this happened, and they've been alive for this long. Fucking crazy.
That's one of those things that like I really did enjoy Adventure Time when I was younger, and obviously not super young because I wasn't like a child when it came out.
Yeah,
but,
like high school.
But I enjoyed it because it was whimsical, it was funny, like that. It was just like
it's very creative.
With pals. And then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Like they're adding like little hints of their being.
Yeah, they
plots.
started doing that, and I got really into it when it was airing a while back.
I also was into that part, and then it didn't pay off soon enough, so I was like, I'm uninterested. I'm done.
Exactly. There was too much waiting between the like cool shit.
Yeah.
So I was completely done. And now that they're actually making the HBO shows, I committed to watching more of it. And since I was just like, well, I have to lay here for hours, what if I put on something that's like kind of stupid that I don't really think about? And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, well, I'll check out like a couple more episodes, and it says like part 1. So I'm like, okay, time to watch part 2, I guess. And then I'm like, wait, how many parts are there gonna? Part 7. And I'm like, I need to go to bed. I just didn't expect it to be so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly good and interesting show still. I didn't know.
Do you know how much more you have till like you're done with this, or?
No, I'm on the 7th season according to Hulu. So who
knows what that means? Yeah.
Yeah. And since Hulu's such a mess, I don't even want to look at like how many episodes there are or anything like that. So,
I get what you're saying.
I just watch until it's done.
I do have one more question about Adventure Time. Do you have just like a character who isn't a main character, who hasn't been like featured too much that you really enjoyed? Like maybe like a one-off character that you're like, I really like that guy. Because I can think of 2 that I was like, oh man, I wish they would have came back.
Okay,
I really
what are
enjoyed
your
them.
2? What are your 2?
The tiny kitten assassin, the cat assassin. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. I don't think he's come back at all, but
no.
Yeah, characters related to him are involved still.
I think he's voiced by the same guy that did Catbug for the
yeah. That
what are the Bravest Warriors, right? That's
dude,
what that show was
Catbug's the fucking realest little dude. Oh shit, yeah.
So I remember like really liking that. That was a fun episode. I liked that cat a lot. Second one, and like I said, I haven't seen it at all. So I've only ever seen this character once before, but I think it's Banana Man. He's like this tiny little banana guy who's like trying to build like a spaceship to the sky or whatever, and he's like half a banana. He's like cut in half, and he's
so
like,
it's he hasn't come back, but like the Candy Kingdom is so big that
Full
they
of
can
banana
easily
people.
come back.
Yeah.
Like all of the Lemon Grab characters have come back multiple times through different things. Like Prismo is a recurring character that you wouldn't expect. But my favorite is probably their brother, Finn and Jake's brother, who is voiced by Greg Universe.
Finn and Jake have a brother.
Yeah, they have another brother.
Is this actually Jake's brother? Like, is he a dog?
Yeah, so, yeah, he's a dog.
I think I know who you're talking about. I think I've seen him before, yeah.
He's also Finn's brother.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he's not really Finn's brother.
Well, Finn was adopted, but that doesn't mean that they're not brothers.
They're not blood brothers, is what I'm saying. They're
there
not
you go.
blood related.
I'm just like, they are real brothers.
Is he the one that has like a hat? Is that the only difference or whatever? Is that Jake's dad?
That's Jake's dad has like a hat and tie and cane.
Yeah.
But no, the brother has like some stubble.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty good.
He has some really big Greg Universe kind of vibes going on. Just kind of rolling with stuff, but like a little scared of everything, you know?
Jake, I'm gonna look him up because I want to see if I've seen this guy before.
He looks like Jake. So
well, I mean, but he's got stubble.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he does. But I was really surprised on that episode. They actually showed Cloud's Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the fuck?
I remember that being a thing. Yo, dude, he just looks like Jake. A little stubble, bigger eyebrows. You know.
Yeah, that's true. He did have bigger eyebrows.
Pretty good, dude. It's a pretty good ish. He's never come back. You only see him the one time, huh?
I mean, you know, he's like referenced and stuff, but he doesn't really come back. He's not a super prominent character. I mean, it's the same thing as like Jake's kids. You hardly see them. They get featured every once in a while, but usually it's like there was one whole episode where his son, who still lived at home, went and found a diary and became obsessed with it, and then they went and like tried to figure out whose diary it was.
This is Jake's half brother. It actually seems.
Whoa! Spoilers.
Sorry. Here it is. I'm gonna tell you.
No, you're right. No.
I was like, I'm just looking at this graph. I was like, well, how are they not related? So I guess because Jake got his powers from an alien, I think, or something like that.
There's a lot of stuff that hasn't fully been explained, but yeah.
Yeah, this graph is fucking wild. Like, there's just so many fucking things going everywhere.
There's a lot of lore in this show. Yeah. So I wanna watch all of it and then figure it out, and then watch the sequels and then see what else there is. So I'm sure there's a lot of information. I know that characters die. I know there's a lot of different stuff that happens, but I don't know why it happens or when it happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good stuff. I'm glad you're still enjoying Adventure Time.
It's still good, man. I'm just every time that you see a project find its footing and then like really dive into parts of that, it's so exciting. So it's still a kids show, but it also feels like more and more they keep pushing that same kind of like, hey man, just do whatever makes you happy kind of attitude, but in more realistic perspectives, I guess, into more like social issues.
Right.
So they still have that like, nah, man, you can just do whatever. Like right now, there was another princess takes over the Candy Kingdom, and it's a dude. So he's a princess. He walks around in Princess Bubblegum's clothes all the time, but everyone just calls him princess and doesn't ever address it as weird. And I'm like, all right, cool. People are just into them doing their own thing and shit. And yeah, like BMO has different personas all the time. And BMO became Football, who is this girl who's been trapped in the mirror world. Just a whole bunch of weird shit. And I'm like, okay, so BMO is both a boy and a girl, depending on what BMO feels like.
Football.
They are great for that scenario. Yeah, Football, man. Football, the girl, BMO. It was so stupid. It was great. Yeah. Anyways, that's been a lot of fun. And then I wasn't sure, this is going to be a little bit more niche, I guess. But I wasn't sure how the new WarioWare game was going to be. And they released a demo, played that, and it's fantastic. I'm super excited. And I would have normally immediately been super excited. I love the team behind it. Everything they make is like just polished and good. The only time that they faltered was on Wii U. I didn't really like their WarioWare stuff that they did there, but it was kind of like Pictionary plus a couple other games. It was fine. It was whatever.
Is this for the Switch, so WarioWare Get It Together?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And starting off, I guess all the characters get sucked into a video game, and then you control the characters because you're controlling the video game. And that's how they explained why the controls are all weird, which I was worried about because they were showing it off and they were like, yeah, you play as Ashley and then you like blow the tree this way and then you play as this character and you just jump around. And I'm like, it looks stupid. I don't care. And then playing as them, I realized, oh shit, this is hard as fuck. So you have to memorize a bunch of different play styles, and then those levels change and get more difficult. So it says it has 200 micro games, which actually means however many characters they have. I'm assuming it's at least 10 because they showed off 6 in the demo, and there's still more that haven't been like anything. Anyways, I didn't expect it to be as good as it is, but it has about 2,000 variants of its levels, so you're always getting like a new experience. It's insanely hard, but it's also not that hard once you pick it up. It's just hard to like suddenly on the fly be like, oh, I'm playing as this character. I have to do this thing. I have to pay attention to this. And you have 5 seconds to process. I'm playing as this character, so the mechanics are this way. This is what the minigame is. This is what I'm supposed to do. And then you have to execute that correctly. So it's a really fun, just everything's going at once. Oh shit, okay, we're done. And then you go on to the next. So anyways, I'm really excited about it coming out now. I wasn't sure, but the demo felt so great. It convinced me 100%. So if you're on the fence at all, that's a demo worth checking out.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I remember liking those on my, is it the
DS?
Yeah, the Advance or whatever.
They had WarioWare Touched on the DS.
Yeah.
They had WarioWare like Shake It or something like that, I think, on the Game Boy Advance.
WarioWare Shake It. Let's check it out.
Something like that, I think. And then the WarioWare Smooth Moves was on, I think that was the Wii one, which I loved. Just the narrator coming in, being like, the big cheese. Place your hands firmly on your hips, as if to say, just like a very calm, this is how you play the game. But then when you're actually playing, it's like chaotic as fuck. Hula hoop, you motherfucker. You better become an elephant. If you're not an elephant right now, I swear to God, you're a robot. Go, you gotta put the can in the trash. Come on, kiddo. Just one after another. It's so much fun. WarioWare has such a good like humor behind it too.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping this game captures that, because based on the demo, you're just getting gameplay essentially. It's hard to tell if it's going to have good humor. Or sometimes like WarioWare doesn't deliver that well. Like the story is never super compelling, but sometimes there are like some really solid jokes in there. And honestly, with like Smooth Moves giving you the description of the different position, the ways to hold the Wiimote for the different mini games and stuff, always cracked me up. And that was so consistent with a bunch of different ways to hold it and different styles to do things. Anyways, excited. I like the company. It's working out. It's pretty choice. And then I actually started playing a game that I was looking forward to for a while, but I just hadn't touched it. I don't know. Got to be in the right mood. Called Outer Wilds. And essentially, you're like an astronaut living on this little planet of other people. And you just go and take off, and you have to figure out mysteries of the universe through like sound detection and weird platforming on other planets. But it's very indie and it's super calm, and it's like, go at your own pace, man. Do whatever you want to do. Like there's some stuff over here if you want to go check it out. But
I like the way it looks. Yeah, it's nice looking.
It's really cool. So I had a really good time playing a little bit of that, and I'm excited to play more. People love it. They always say it's just this incredible experience. I've only really explored one-ish planet. I can't remember if I'm done with it. I think there might be like one more thing to do. So far, I don't know. It's a lot of fun though. It's a really good time. So I'm excited about that. And I started watching a new show. I guess it's not super new, but it's a spin-off of What We Do in the Shadows. I think it's a spin-off of the movie, not the show.
What's it called?
Because it's called Wellington Paranormal. And Wellington, I think it's Wellington. It's on HBO Max, and it's about the two officers that come to the vampire's house and like are investigating and trying to figure out where the missing people are. Mm-hmm. And they're like all mind controlled, just like, oh, this is a pretty nice place, huh? Yeah, okay, well. And it looks like you guys aren't up to much. It's like blood's all over the place or whatever's going on. I'm like, oh, okay, take care of that. Have a good night. It's about those two officers that come by, and they just have all these paranormal situations coming across.
You said this is new to you because it's been out for a bit, yeah?
Yeah, but the second season started airing on HBO Max, and it wasn't on there before that. So it's very new to me. But yeah, it's just a cool little New Zealand parody of kind of like Cops, I guess, but not really, where the paranormal stuff's happening. It's definitely more in line of the same kind of humor as What We Do in the Shadows. Not particularly like the best jokes, but some like pretty fun ones that I was having a good time with. Like the two officers get invited by their chief into this special paranormal room so that they could like learn about stuff, and he's like, would you guys like to come with me and go in here? And they're like, yeah, okay, of course. And he's going to unlock the thing, the like door for it. He's like, all right, well, hang on, let me just enter the pin here really quick. And then he just hits one number, and they're like, isn't there more? And he's like, oh yeah, no, there's lots more. Beep, 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 beep. Access granted. See, we're totally fine. They go inside, and he is telling them about it, and they're like, "Are we the first people that have been in here with you?" He's like, "You're the first ones that have stepped foot in here." He's like, "Oh, does nobody else know about this?" And immediately he's just like, "No, I've invited other people. They just didn't want to come."
Shit,
I really love that bit.
So really, what just was one pin. One number?
Yeah, it was just like 5.
Oh my god.
And as it goes on, he has more complex ones, like more complex codes. I don't know how many it is, but he still keeps doing bits like fingerprint scanned or like whatever. Thank you.
Yeah,
always does a little voice. It's stupid. It's really fun. It's just a dorky kind of documentary spoof on some super chill place in New Zealand, I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah, so start watching that. It's a blast.
I have wanted to watch that TV show, the not the one based off the movie, the actual TV show.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. I watched a couple of episodes and I just stopped watching it. So
oh yeah, it wasn't for you. It happens.
I mean, maybe it's for me, maybe it's not. I just wasn't feeling it at the time, and that can definitely happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it because people all the time say it's like one of their favorite shows, and it's hard for me because I can't help but compare it to the movie, and they just feel very different. Very different tones. Very different film styles and stuff, which I don't know. I guess I was more interested in the movie style of documentary kind of style of it.
But it's still written and directed by the same person, right? Or at least written, right?
I think it's produced by the same person, but it was Taika Waititi.
Yeah, originally,
he's the dude behind everything. So
yeah.
I don't think he's working just on FX shows.
No, he's big news, bro. He's out here doing, what's it?
Free Guy?
Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
He's out here killing it, dude. Fucking Jojo rabbiting it up, you know?
Free Guy?
Yeah, I haven't seen Free Guy.
Well, I'm just going to keep saying it. Because he was in it. It just didn't really matter.
He was also in the Suicide Squad, which
that's
I
true.
didn't know he was going to be in. I was like, oh, shit. It's like
I totally
right
forgot.
There.
I was like, what's up, dude?
Hey, cool. I'm glad you were able to, have some free time to come down and do this.
So you know that Hugh Jackman movie that I've been seeing trailers for
Resonance,
months, and it looks stupid as fuck.
Taika Waititi's in that one too.
Yeah, no, he actually stars in it. He stars as Hugh Jackman, so that's why.
Oh Jesus!
No, I know that it's free right now on HBO.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to see it at all in theaters. I was like, this looks like such a goddamn waste of time. But I'm really tempted to watch it on HBO Max.
Well, it's there. It's that thing like, well, there. I have it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, it's free. I don't know. So I'm a little tempted to check it out, but it still looks like one of the dumbest like action drama things.
I feel you. I'm not super into. I for sure wasn't gonna watch it in theaters, but now that it's on HBO, like that does kind of be like, well, it's on HBO, kind of, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think it's the same mentality. Like maybe now you like it, you're more open to watching it, but it's probably gonna just be Garbo. So
yeah, but I'll let you know if I watch it. There's a lot of things that I'm like, oh, I want to watch it, and then I just forget, or it doesn't sound like the right thing to watch right then
at the right time. I agree.
And then I accidentally watched 30 episodes of some show that Kate told me about, and I'm like, whoops, I'm stuck on YouTube. Okay. You know how those days go.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
But anyways, last little tidbit, I guess, is just a personal question. Do you have any feelings about the new Spider-Man trailer?
I mean, I'm excited for it just because like Spider-Man's my favorite, and like I'm really stoked for it. I really like the Tom Holland direction. You know, they're like him as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But like any like horrible feelings, like anything that's like inklings, I'm like, not really. I know that the trailer dropped when I had class on Monday, and my teacher's like, oh, this just came out. I was like, I'll save it for later. And I jokingly said like, well, there is animation in that. And he's like, well, if you want to. So we kind of watched it all as a group or whatever. And we talked about it for like 10, 15 minutes. And his complaint was he doesn't like the fact that like Doctor Strange is just so willy-nilly do this thing for Peter Parker or whatever with, you know.
Yeah, which is totally an understandable thing. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, this is a Christmas movie. It's coming out around Christmas. Are we getting some kind of a like Days of Christmas Past ass like Disney weird bullshit? Which is still going to be good and fun. But that would explain his like, I don't know, we'll just fucking see like attitude about shit.
It's what's it called? There's actually it's based off of like a fucking storyline. Yeah, I think it's called One More Day or One Less something like that. But I will
say I enjoy Doctor Strange's attitude more.
Yeah, I was.
It doesn't fit him, but it's fun.
Yeah, he said that he's like my teacher's like, I just don't understand why his character's like that. I'm like, well, like Tony Stark's gone, so they need someone to be kind of that like, hey, fun, cool dude or whatever. Like, it's like that's just gonna help kids out because he can. You know, he's a nice guy, so it is different for him. But I don't like dislike it. I will say though that the story that it's based off of has like in the realm of superhero stories, people don't really like it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of like people just like shit on it till like today.
The internet is do they know about this?
Probably like there's probably more people who just like Spider-Man and Marvel movies that don't know about the actual like you know, like it's gotten to that point where like no one knew. More people know about the movie The Civil War as opposed to the actual comic book it came from. So it's kind of, I think it's the same deal. So people probably don't care because people are like, yeah, this looks fucking great. And people are like really big fans of this story. It's like, that's a horrible storyline. Why would they pick that one? I'm excited, dude. I knew that we weren't going to see any of the other Spider-Man, you know, like, and I was hoping we'd see the Green Goblin, but I for sure had a feeling like we're going to have to see Doc Ock. And I was like, it looks great. So I'm excited for it. Hopefully it comes out as planned and doesn't get like pushed back for whatever reason, but you know,
I mean, it feels like they held off so long on giving us a trailer for it.
Yeah, well,
it's probably gonna stay like it's 4 months away.
Well, I think it leaked, like the trailer leaked, and then they're like, "Fuck it, we got to just fucking drop it." So
I don't necessarily think that was it. Like there was only one thing in the trailer that I noticed that looked out of place, and I think it was on purpose, and they just didn't care about cleaning it up enough. Just the lighting on this one woman that they transposed on top of somebody else who's inside of a vehicle. It's this shot that's going around, and I'm like, yeah, no, watching the trailer again, I didn't see anything like that the first time. But then, of course, if you're being more analytical, that's really the one thing that stood out. Yeah. Anyways, I'm glad that you're stoked about it because the internet seems to be freaking out. I've never been a fan of the Spider-Man movies until Marvel started handling them.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, I don't have any extra nostalgia there. I don't I know people are so stoked. They're like, oh man, J.K. Simmons is back in on it. I love him, but I don't have any nostalgia for him being a part of the universe.
I get what
or
you're
like
saying,
Willem Dafoe. Like, I don't care
yeah.
if he's going to be back or not. But if he is, like, cool. People will be more satisfied, I guess.
I feel like that's fair. Like, like you said, like, it's not that you hate them. You're just like, they're just nothing to you, right? So
yeah, exactly. I'm like not influenced by it because it was a totally different entity at that time. So if they're trying to be like, oh, we're from those universes, they have to give those characters like, I don't know, they have to feel different, and I'm sure that they would in a different like the different sets, the different staging, the different like time that is being filmed. Everything is so much different than when they made their Spider-Man movies that it's probably going to just not even feel close to the same thing.
Yeah.
But they can still keep the same like characteristics and personality and stuff if they wanted to do that.
I think that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to make it feel like a Marvel movie because those weren't, Marvel movies or whatever. But they're also going to have to add little things where like, hey, little hints of, hey, remember this thing? He'd say this joke or whatever. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's pizza time. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha. Yeah. Oh, he's doing the emo dance. Oh, everyone knows that meme, shit like that. Oh my God,
the finger guns. We nailed it. Yeah.
Well, they did that. They did the finger guns in Into the Spider-Verse. So it was like,
well, that one was just
funny.
A whole different thing.
Yeah.
That one was just like a love letter to everything Spider-Man. They also did the like pointing.
That was good. That was really good.
Yeah, which was great.
Yeah, good shit though. I'm excited for it. Well, and I like I said, I just hope it comes out on time and I'm able to see it. But if it gets pushed back for whatever reason, that's just kind of the world we're living in right now. Things just getting delayed, so it is what it is.
Yep, but I really doubt it would with the 4 months away. I hope that they were planning on releasing the trailer and then it got leaked and they released it right after. Otherwise, who knows? But 4 months seems like we'll get it. Anyways, I guess that's all that I wanted to talk about regarding what's been up this week. So what anime have you been watching, my guy? My dude?
I watched the next episode after the recap of Remake Our Life. You watch it?
Yeah.
Dude, sexy stuff's happening, bro. A lot of sexy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, not like
doing some like weird love triangle stuff that I'm not always a fan of.
Yeah, it's doing some throwbacks to your harems. Like I want you, I also want you.
But they, if they are going the direction they're going, which I fucking hope they are, this is, you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay. But if it's just the two girls, not great. If it's more than that, then I'm having a good time.
You want another girl to get thrown in the mix? Like, fuck
No, I want that dude to get thrown in the mix.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was really funny, too. I was just like, because I thought maybe it was just like, why did I think it was funny? There was like the girl, the fiance, just misinterpret, the relationship between the two of them. I was like, but I never thought, like, I never crossed my mind, like, oh, maybe he is, he could be, right? But we know our main character is, and he's like, nah, that ain't about that life. I was like, okay, cool.
Unless it's college.
It is college. It's time to experiment.
It's college, baby.
I will say, there was more like fan servicey stuff in this episode.
Yeah.
I do appreciate our main character being more level-headed than other harem characters, where he's gonna go talk to a third party, like, what should I do? And the person's like, do this. He's like, cool, done. And then she even asks, like, who do you like? He's like, I don't really like any of them. I don't like any of them like that. It's like, okay, cool. You should tell them. I know, actually, she says don't tell them because it's gonna fucking deter them from doing their job. It's like, hey man, that's kind of fucked up, but you gotta get this video game done. Yeah.
We're trying to make a hentai, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I still really like the show. I think it's fun.
It's fine. It looks good.
It looks good. Yeah, it looks good.
Good.
The next show I watched was To Your Eternity. Did you watch this one?
I have not watched this one yet.
So the last thing you remember is like the...
Oh, I remember.
Are they called Nokers or Knockers or something like that?
Knockers, yeah.
They showed up to the island. That's the last thing you remembered, right?
Yeah, that's the last thing.
Okay, so here's how this ends.
Perfect.
No. The next episode is really good.
Was it another like, oh, it's trying to be super sad kind of episode?
It is sad.
Yeah, I mean, it goes in that waves, and we're at the point where it's going to be super sad again. So,
but it's also like super happy, at the end of it, and it's just like, oh, cool, man, things are good. We're at the end where it's obviously the end of this this little story, this little chapter that we're going to, and he's going to go somewhere else. There was some animation that I didn't really like. It just like you could tell like there wasn't enough time or quality. And it's like, but it's okay. I mean, we had some bombastic animations earlier. There is a character flaw like that I don't like with one of the characters that I don't want to talk about because it's going to spoil something or whatever.
Yet. Okay.
Yeah, but I talked about it. I can talk to you about it like later. But just like it's just a thing that I wish this person would just kind of, I don't know, grow up or like realize that there really is only one solution to this problem. But yeah, in this episode, I'm just like, God, I was just like super pissed. Like, God, just do the thing. Stop doing this. Do the thing. But it was a good episode. It's still a really good show. I'm super excited to see what happens next. I know that we're gonna follow obviously our main character, and we're gonna meet up with the character from the past. What?
We have characters from the past that aren't dead? Crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, right? It's not that crazy. I'm just excited to see this character again. I like this character. That's it. That was that one.
Fuck yeah.
Besides that, I did not watch, what's it called? What's the name of the show? Sunny Boy. I was going to, and then I got super caught up with animating, and I was like, fuck. It's like, do I render this out and like figure out what's going on, or do I watch the show? I was like, I'm gonna keep working on this because so let me know what's up. This is one of those shows where like I'm down to hear what happens because it's like it's all fucking crazy.
Can't tell you what happens.
Damn it, really?
This is the episode.
Damn it.
This is the point where the show could actually be over if they wanted to.
Damn it. All right, well, I missed that one. Well,
it was the most like, all right, so philosophically, what's happening here? It was, so, it was also very, sorry.
It wasn't monkey baseball, is what you're saying.
It was not monkey baseball, no.
Damn it.
But it's not like that wasn't visited.
We get some, okay, now I'm stoked. I'm super juiced.
I mean, it's fucking wild, dude. Like, the way everything happened, I was just kind of surprised, I guess. I don't know where it's going to go, but it hit that Tatami Galaxy level of like, all right, so we might be, we might be doing something, dude. We might be doing something. Boy, don't you
be teasing me with fucking the Tatami Galaxy. It's one of those shows
I don't know what's
going
to happen next.
It took so long for, I feel like, us to watch that one, but once we watched it, like, this show's fucking good. What were we doing?
It just takes a while sometimes, man. It's fucking amazing. So
I'm excited for Sunny Boy. That just means I'll have 2 episodes to watch.
Exactly.
To talk about next week.
Or just one. I mean.
Oh, yeah, if it's over, that's right. There's no more episodes.
I don't know if it's over. It totally could be. It's so weird.
It's just a recap episode.
Yeah, so really excited for you to be able to watch that just because it hit that point where it's like, oh yeah, we're like figuring out what's happening now. We're not just like fucking around with extra stories. We're like getting down to the biz.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Anyways, Aquatope on White Sand, still very pretty.
Beautiful show.
This last episode was called like Ice Cream Sandwich or something. So it was just gonna be good vibes. And it's still like, hey, we're really getting ready to, destroy this aquarium.
That's right. That's what they're doing.
Again and again. We're gonna have to not have an aquarium anymore. Again and again and again. So yeah, that's that episode. It was all right. We finally got to the big point in My Hero Academia that everybody's been waiting for.
Yeah.
Should I say it? Should I say?
Yeah, say it.
My Villain Academia.
I can't believe you said it.
I said it. I did.
I can't believe. Yeah, you said it. Those are the words.
That's it. The intro, it was like, yeah, we'll just change the name. And I'm like, oh, okay. But we're still going to do the, whoa, it's all right, everybody. Yeah, all right. That whole thing.
What's super funny is that that whole name change, the My Villain, right? Is this what they call it? My Villain Academia. I remember like going over to family dinner, and then like I'd been reading My Hero for a few chapters, and it was that kind of arc or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's fine. I know people really like it. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Sure. But Isaiah also reads the manga, and he was like, yo, dude, have you caught up with the manga? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, oh, dude, isn't it crazy? He's like, My Villain Academia? And I go, what? He goes, yeah, it's My Villain Academia. Like, they changed the name. And I was just like, did they? I don't fucking ever read the title of the chapter or whatever. Like, I just like, so I didn't even know that was like like
it
that
didn't
thing.
even hit you the
No,
same
it didn't
way.
register.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. Like they're just focusing on the bad guys for a bit, and I was just like, no, dude, they changed it. I was like, oh, they did, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's cool. But I was like, I just didn't give a fuck. I was like, whatever.
Honestly, man, me watching it and it being like My Villain Academia, I was like, all right, whatever.
Cool.
I just kept watching. I'm like, yeah, we've kind of like already watched villains do stuff. So now it seems like it's just going to be how do they train? How do they get stronger? What are they up to in their downtime? And like I like this stuff, but also like, who cares?
No, dude. Okay, you say that now, but you wait until the villains have their fucking sports festival. Okay, that shit's fucking dope. Okay, when they're doing their concert, so much.
Well,
so they got fucking pyrotechnics.
I'm gonna have fun with it. Don't get me wrong. This is like a Disneyland adventure. I'm having a bunch of fun, but at the same time, I'm like, this is what you guys were freaking out about.
Yeah.
Like,
I get what you're saying.
I'm
like,
going
cool.
to Space Mountain, but I'm also like, why did we wait 2 hours for that?
They
should have gotten fast
one word.
passes. Yeah. Like,
actually, I heard that the fast pass doesn't even work anymore. You have to get something faster than a fast pass.
Yeah, instant pass where they just throw you on the ride before you could get in line.
You have to jump on while it's still moving. No, I actually did hear that. I did hear that. Like they're like because
I heard about that too.
Because they're super busy because people are trying to go there in fucking hordes because it was closed for about a year.
Yeah.
Your fast pass essentially doesn't do anything. It's like cool. It's like you have to get a fast pass. You have to get a better fast pass. It's sad, dude. Sad the world we live in right now.
Biggest pro tip that I could give for you from people that live in LA and people that have worked at Disney. Got the last 2 weeks of January if you want to go to Disneyland. Last 2 weeks of January are the best time to go because there's nobody there. There's just been a bunch of holidays. It's right when school's starting up. Like, everything's calmed down.
Dude, fucking that's you heard it here. That's a move, bro. Fucking pro strat from Trip.
Won't be empty, but it'll be empty.
See you there. We'll see you there. Instant Ramen Podcast live from Disneyland. Just
That's
2
the time
weeks.
to go. But then
January.
Again, I want to see it when it's all wintry. I fucking love that, dude. I love it so much. I also love the fall stuff, but I like the winter stuff more.
You just sound like you love it all.
I love Disneyland. It turns out I'm a Disney adult. Fuck you. Disneyland's fucking great, man.
Yeah, Disneyland's pretty cool. Whatever. I've been the one time. It was fine. I'm sure whenever like I have children, I'll probably enjoy it too. And
I'll tell them how to enjoy it the right way.
Yeah. Sorry, kids. Uncle Trip's taking you to Disneyland because I don't know how to have a good time here.
That's the problem with all the Disney adults is that they want to have like a specific way to do stuff. They're like, no, bro, you got to do it this way. Got to do this. Like, you can do whatever. But
yeah.
Doesn't fucking matter. I don't know. Maybe I just don't care about anything at all. Maybe I'm too apathetic about even things that I absolutely love. But who gives a shit? Go to Disneyland, do whatever the hell you want. Get your Dole Whips. I don't give a fuck.
Okay. Well, that seems really aggressive. I think this is where we're going to end the pod.
Yeah, better than talking about Promised Neverland live action, right?
No, we'll save that for next week. We'll just keep it fucking...
We'll keep it tight here.
You want to get some news?
Yeah, man, I've got lots of it for you. First off, this is going to be, I guess, something we need to pay a little bit of attention to. But in October, we are going to be able to see the My Hero Academia World's Heroes mission in other places, United States, Canada, and the UK, and Ireland on October 29th, and Australia, New Zealand on October 28th. It's also gonna film. The film's also gonna screen in other places in different languages, but we are getting an English dub and a sub for it. So
yeah. So October is the time to. We don't know when in October, but like
29th.
Okay, dope. Well, I'll be there. Are you gonna be there?
I should be, unless I get sick.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what day the 29th is. Yeah.
It's gonna be it's going to be the day it comes out. Probably a Tuesday. I think mostly anime shit's Tuesdays.
It's a Friday.
Ah, My Hero. Hey, look at you.
They know what's up, yeah.
All right. Attack on Titan, the final season, episode 76.
Why are you laughing?
Because it's called the final season still. They're not even calling it like final season part 2.
It's the final season.
Still the final season.
They just took a long break. I don't know why you think this is so funny.
It's going to be out January 2022.
You can't see it right now because I turned off my video, but my fists are clenched so fucking hard. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Yeah, dude, I don't know where because I don't read the manga, right? And I know people already know what happens, but I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm fucking excited.
It's fucking crazy. We're almost there, man. We're almost there. Sentai acquires Made in Abyss season 2, which is pretty big because Sentai is the same company that's done the first season and movies. So
who they acquire it from?
Themselves.
Oh, okay, okay, cool.
For season 2, yeah, you just have to get the rights for it.
Have to re-get it back, yeah.
Rights.
Okay, cool.
Season 2, cool. There's gonna be a short style anime. It's gonna be a 180-second anime.
Hold on. Did you just say 180 seconds?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. How many seconds are intros and outros?
I don't know. You know what? It might be longer than 180 seconds. I'm just going based off of the information I have, which is there's an ASMR themed short anime called Can I Make Your Ears Happy in 180 seconds? And the staff has been revealed for that, I guess.
I just want to say that, like, I get it. Like, I get that people like that shit. I am so fucking done with the ASMR. Like I am so sick of just, like, scrolling through my fucking TikTok and just seeing, like, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 people all having, just clicking on their fucking Blue Yeti or, like, talking, making noise. Like, it's like, fucking stop. Like, you're not even doing it right. Like, you have the shittiest equipment and they're out here like, I'm gonna crack my knuckles. Like, bitch, go get some. I'm done. Instagram stance. We're done with ASMR. We're gonna watch the anime because we have to, but I'm not happy about it.
I mean, I got no qualms with ASMR, but I do have qualms with the oversaturation of a market that was already very, very niche. Like, that's
what I'm saying. Like, there's so much of it, and they're not even doing a good job of it
that's
anymore.
All I'm saying. Like, nothing wrong with the actual act of making the videos and stuff.
That's fair.
As long as you're doing it well and professionally,
I'm changing. That's my stance now. That's my stance is like, I'm fine with it, but I'm sick of people doing it poorly. Either do it right or don't do it at all.
Do it right. Go back to OnlyFans or whatever.
While we're here, just like half-assing our podcast, like, yeah, whatever. We got the mics, we're fine.
Well, whatever, man. At least I show up when I'm sick.
I don't. I go, Kate, tag Kate in.
Tag in Kate. I can't do video chats.
Too sick.
No, I totally get it. I mean, that's what I would have done yesterday, but it's today,
man.
So we're
if you were like keeled over right now and you're like, hey man, we had to keep pausing because you had to run out the room, I'd be like, yeah, I understand. Let's not fucking keep going.
Nah.
Let's just cancel this week. Or I just would have done it this week. I would have done it by myself. Like you had that one day, you're like, I might just do the pod by myself. Like maybe I'll just do it myself. I almost
did it. Sometimes you got to do it alone. I was thinking though, I'm like, at what point should I cancel if I'm feeling sick? And I woke up this morning and was like, I'll go back to sleep and see what happens. It all worked out. It was great.
That reminds me, I am going to be going out of town next month, so we got to figure it out. You got to get a host. Yeah, or set up maybe that's your fucking...
That's my solo adventure?
Yeah, dude. Fucking, you have plenty of time to prepare for it. You could set up sound effects. It'd be great.
I'm going to do an in-detailed review of Sex and the City, I think is what that's going to be. The second movie, I don't think you need context for it, so we'll just do Sex and the City too.
I heard that's the worst one.
Probably don't need much context for that then, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, she'll be good.
Cool. Actually, I just listened to a podcast where they talked about Sex in the City. So,
what?
It's a podcast, and what they do is like do reports about whatever topics they want to do. Like they could do like historical figures, fucking market,
Sex in the City,
and then that guest host like, hey, like let's talk about the production of this TV show that's super popular and like where it's gone. I was like, yeah, okay, I'd never seen this show, but I'm aware of it, so I know more about it. So I'm ready. I'm excited for your fucking episode.
All right, so let's talk about Promised Neverland, the live action, right?
Let's do it. For sure.
Time. Is it time?
Yeah, it's time.
We're okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, so the Promised Neverland, Are we gonna do this? How spoiler free are we gonna do this?
I feel like we just have to just from the beginning say like we're gonna spoil all of it, because like this series, this manga, this anime is done. This is season 1, which is what, 4 years old now. Like it's not like it's anything new. So either obviously you're not gonna watch, you know, the live action movie if you haven't seen this other stuff. Like it wouldn't make any sense. So
totally
I don't see
fair,
why we wouldn't spoil stuff.
But just in case somebody hasn't seen it, go and watch the first season of Promised Neverland if you're interested.
And then stop.
But more than anything, you should read the manga if you are interested in it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a kind of like mysterious dark twist on an orphanage type of story with these genius children that have tattoos on their neck, and you don't really understand what's going on, and they slowly piece things together. It's a giant game of cat and mouse that just excels into the wildest of territories. Very, very enjoyable. Go check it out. And now we're gonna spoil everything about it.
For sure, absolutely. Like it's gonna be.
Just
I don't want to mince.
Little summary, you know.
I don't want to mince words, any words about it. They all die in the end.
They all fucking die, dude. That would have been such a wild, like, good end to this movie. I think.
Okay, they just all fucking cop it. No, this is essentially this is just season 1. Like they do an amazing job of getting all of season 1 into this 2-hour runtime, which I also, when I saw the runtime, I was like, fuck, should I pick a different movie? I don't know if I want to sit here for 2 hours.
But it was fine. It's by the way, it's directed by Yuichiro Hirakawa, who made a movie that we had seen before. He made the Erased movie from 2016. So we are familiar. Yeah.
Not the Netflix series that was really good. The movie that had Japanese Brad Pitt in it that wasn't as good.
Yes. So we're familiar with his work, but we're also not a fan of it. And this didn't really change much. I think it was pretty much on the same exact level of quality as Erased the movie was. Yeah,
it for sure, like just like Erased the movie, it for sure felt like the anime. You know, like it did a good job being like, yeah, that absolutely is like diet Erased. You know, it's like if you don't have time to for some reason watch the show and you watch this, yeah, you kind of got the gist of it. Did you get all that sugar that you wanted from, you know, the thing? No.
I was really curious if this was going to feel like it was taking more source material from the manga or from the anime.
What do you think? Like,
I think that at times it did both.
Okay.
For the most part, it felt like it followed the anime more. Yeah. But there were some certain parts that kind of just felt a little bit more like, oh yeah, this is more manga-ish. Like they had a lot more narration, I think, or internal dialogue, which felt a lot more like the manga. However, I think that there were like the doll, Sister Crone's doll, that was just like a big anime thing. And they only had it for one scene. So I was really happy about that. But it felt like they had to have that in for the anime watchers. Not necessarily because it added anything, but just because it was there in the anime and it was something else to be like, and we need to make sure to get all the elements because that's the way the whole movie felt. They got to make sure this is here.
They absolutely didn't, like, because in the manga it's like she just has a doll. That's all there really is to it. And in the anime she's talking to it and dancing with it and doing all this stuff.
And like they made it look more freaky,
creepy. Yeah. And in the live action, like it's just kind of there. You know, she holds it. And it was like, cool. It's more like an homage. It's like they cut them, like they cut down the middle. Like, cool. It's there. It's not a huge centerpiece. Because, I mean, in the anime, because I'd only ever seen the anime first, I was like, I remember being like, cool. They're doing a great job of making this bitch really scary. And then you're like, oh, that's not even a thing in the manga. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah, it makes sense. It's not really
intimidating because of other things, not because of her psychotic nature.
Yeah.
Which. She was intimidated because she was another force for mom. She was intimidated because she was incredibly strong and fast, and the kids picked up on that right away. And they understood how smart mom was, so anybody that had to get a position similar to mom must also be that smart. And then she was purposely provoking the children, which was also scary. But she wasn't insane
No.
by any means. So it was really weird seeing that in the show, because there are some images of Sister Crone in the manga that have her like making these crazy fucking faces from insane angles. And that's literally just to show you the emotion you should be feeling when you see this character.
Right.
So when they try to replicate that in the anime and in this live action, it feels inauthentic and bizarre, and psychotic. And like, what are you doing? Like, this is just extra editing for the live action stuff. You're just making her seem like fucking insane. And there was a little clip where she's walking across a like log where they had to speed it up, and it looks so dumb.
That's one of the things I wrote. Because in the manga and in the anime, Sister Crone's is like physically just like stronger and faster than the kids.
She's
like obviously
huge. She's ripped. She's like she's a force to be reckoned with.
And it makes sense as to why she is the way she is. Like she grew up. Her upbringing to where she is now like was hard, so she had to be that way. But in the movie, I was just like, I was curious to see how they were going to handle that, because I noticed that when the kids were climbing up trees or jumping down from trees, they seemed to have some sort of like super like ease of landing, and they might have just sped it up or something. But they made it look like they were really climbing and falling down with great ease. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I saw that they were doing that with them. Like, what are they doing with Sister Crone? With Sister Crone, because of the actor that they picked, she was a heavier set Asian woman. They obviously she can't just climb as easy as they can, so they sped her up. And there's a scene where she like runs like I'd only describe it as like, you know, what is it, like the like Looney Tunes or whatever, like, you know, like like what's the name of the really crazy one? I don't know, like Speedy Gonzalez essentially. Like she just jumps in the air and like fucking zooms. It just looks,
some Wile E. Coyote type shit where it's just like going.
It looks horrible.
Yeah,
it's just like it just really takes you out of that world.
Honestly, going into it and being like, I know Sister Crone is cast as an Asian woman, even though she's like one of the most prevalent black characters in it. For sure. I wasn't sure exactly how that was going to go, but I wound up realizing sometime through it, I was like, no, if a black person did this, I might be like, this is kind of racist.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very happy that they didn't cast a black person for this.
I agree. Like when I first was like, because they did a job of like casting other characters, because like the kids in the show are like multi-racist. They're not just like Asian, or, you know, there's like black, whites, Indians, like there's
almost like whatever. Yeah.
So many, right? So when I saw the cast of kids, like some of the kids are like black, some of the kids are, you know, Asian, some of the kids just have their hair dyed different colors. But what I did notice, like when they have, you know, her crone there, it's like, well, maybe it's easier to cast, you know, an African American child or whatever in Japan if they don't have to say any lines or whatever.
Yeah.
But now it'd be harder to cast a person that is black and then have them know fluent Japanese, maybe, right? Like maybe like that's, and that to look the right way. Like they might have been harder to cast because it obviously was filmed over there. So there's like, cool, we'll just get an Asian woman to do it and she can be heavier and big.
I thought she was good for the character.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her. Like at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but she for sure owned it. I was like, good. She did a good job at the role.
She totally committed to her role. I believed that that's who she was. Even though they were like, I mean, it's just the whole movie. If I'm going to nitpick her, I'm going to nitpick the whole movie.
All of them.
Her flaws are the same flaws as literally everyone else.
Yeah, for sure. But when you kind of like, you step back and you're like, you know what, is that really the worst thing ever? Nah, it was fine. Like
she
it
did
was
good.
Okay. She did good. Oh, absolutely. She owned it. She had her fucking job and she killed it. So respect her. I just think the special effects they used to make her look super fast were super janky. So, and I feel like that's not uncalled for.
Another moment that took me out of it. So there's like the kids have just found out that they are all livestock and they're going to be murdered. It's like the day after, and Emma is looking at all of the kids' different art, and she's looking at Connie's art and feeling sad about it. And Mom comes up and is like,
gets all up in her face.
Yeah. And it's just like, why are you so scared? Why are you flinching? Like, it just felt so stupid.
It was different. It was just different.
It was way more aggressive than subtle. And I was like not into it. And I understand why. And it's because they wanted to have those facial reactions. And this is something where I'm like, they must have taken this scene from the manga. They must have been like, it's so much better in the manga. We got such good reactions out of it or something. And it just felt weird in the show. So let's go based off the manga. And then they wound up having these like really intense expressions at different points. And it looks bizarre on a real woman to be like so straight faced and serious so suddenly with a small child.
No, it was for sure. It was just for sure. Like, I think mom, like, I didn't really like mom the best. Like she kind of, you know, she was
all right, but she was, but
I was just like, I just kind of wish it was better. But that scene for sure felt like super over the top. And I do agree. It's probably because they're like, cool, let's do the manga version of it, where those faces are really good in the manga, and they're trying to translate them over, and we're just like, ugh. You know what? At one point, I even thought that like maybe they were gonna do the thing where like they'll like animate their eyes, you know, like they'll shrink them, you know, to like make them, because there were so many times, like I remember like where like the three of them were talking and like they would get excited or get shocked, you know, kind of stuff. And I remember that scene from the anime, and they had like these expressions. I was like, they did the best,
and they sold it so much better.
For sure.
Better. And that's really the drawback of making it live action in this case, is that there were such descriptive faces. Compared to their actual like words and movements and stuff. Just seeing one face, you're like, I know everything. Versus you need the whole scene for a real person, so it's hard to do that.
My favorite example, I think like the one of the faces that really fucking sticks with me is what's his name? Norman climbing the wall and seeing what's over it, right?
Yeah, just and that hollow.
And then him walking back and seeing the look on his face. It's just, you know, it's but just, like, and then in the live action, they just could not. They did not.
They tried
anywhere. Yeah, they tried, but they did not fucking match that, like that level of, oh my god, like what did he see? And then they'll later find out what he saw. It just wasn't the same. And then it's like the human face, the real human face, can only stretch so much, right? Can only do so much, and it's really hard to, you know, emote and copy these crazy expressions that
especially with a young cast.
Which
is why I'm like, I don't know, man, HBO, I don't know if you would deliver.
Dude, they it's hard. Even like Phil, like I know I really liked Phil in the movie because like he was good. He did his job or whatever.
He was so small and he said words so clearly. They nailed his casting. That's all he needed to do.
But if he had to do like crazy faces, I don't think he could have, because he's such a like a little small child with a smooth face. He's got no wrinkles, nothing to emote with. I was like, like I was seeing I saw a photo of like a facial expression of Phil being like one of the upper guys comes up to him and like says, "Hey, my name's Peter from whatever." Like they came to go like question him, and the facial expressions that Phil had was like insane. Like he looked just like he was gonna die or whatever. Like, yeah, no way a kid could fucking pull that off. It's impossible.
Yeah, and that was just like a one little, hey, we're checking up. It's gonna be 3 pages of what's been happening.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
just see that and you're like, oh god, Phil, good luck, dude. Even though you're like the most evil character that's clearly behind everything.
He obviously, dude, he's gonna fucking turn, bro. Fucking Promised Neverland season 3 is Phil's adventure. Let's see. Because the movie was like 2 hours long, they had to make cuts, obviously, to make it fit.
Not many though.
But yeah, so they did a really good job of like getting things, like in order, like in the right order.
Yeah.
They didn't like completely remove things. The one that I thought was like, that's kind of a stretch, was they removed how they discovered where the trackers are. Essentially, it was just like, we have trackers on us, and they go, where? And they just goes,
livestock,
our ears.
bro.
Yeah, boom, our ears. He goes like, and then they just all go feel it, and they go like, oh yeah, I never felt it. Like they could feel it. I was like that's fucking stupid. You guys are geniuses.
Yeah. Wherein the comics and the anime, they were more like, oh shit, they got trackers. Hey.
But where
like
could we
could even go look at the little baby
on the baby? Exactly.
Hers.
So they had to like take that part out because there was no baby in the movie. So it's like I was like,
which they could have had.
Sense. Yeah, it just there
were a bunch of kids that I didn't know existed.
I also one thing, yeah. So because of that, like that was the one thing that they changed. I was like, I'll give it to you just because I know you have to cut for time and you don't have the time to introduce the baby and all this stuff. So
what are you gonna do?
But they did it. They did an interesting job of like getting it all to fit. And like the pacing was fine. Like it wasn't like I felt like by the time I was like at the points where like like Norman gets sent away, I go like this feels about like maybe we got 20 minutes left in this movie, maybe 20, 30. And it looks like we're close, we're getting there. Like they're doing a good job of making me not like dread these next 2 hours.
Yeah,
they also added stuff.
It's helpful knowing like what's going to happen, and knowing kind of the pacing for that. So you can prepare yourself for how much more there might be. But yeah, the stuff that they added was just like, why?
Why? Exactly. Why? That's exactly. I was like, because like, they add Norman going to be sent away. And
dude, he has a full on like conversation. Are you Minerva? Like, what the fuck?
Why would they say that? Yeah, like
Norman way too defensive at that point. He's given up. He thought his life's over. There's a strange man who's going to talk to him. He doesn't trust him at all. Are you Minerva? Are you the man who's helping
us? Going to save us? Yeah. It's so funny is that like I know that like no, obviously you knew, but like I didn't know that if Norman was alive or dead. Everybody took it at like he's dead. He's got taken away. It's like. But
especially from the manga, man. The manga made it seem so just cut and dry. But then in the movie, the live action movie, the animations that they reused were like, I don't know if it's because they kept reusing stuff or if it's because they're actually killing these characters.
Are you talking about because they had the monster with the same flower in his hand or whatever?
The monster with the same flower with the same animations.
3 times. They used it 3 times.
Yeah. They totally did. I was like, bitch, that was the same one. And then when the 3rd time it happened, I was like, why are we seeing this again?
There's just one monster that chills there. He's holding flowers. Like, is it that time? Am I doing my job?
The guy with the eyes.
Because like in the manga, it's so much cut and dry. Like we don't see it. He just leaves and it's done, right? In the anime, there's like a little bit, but this one was just like a full on conversation with this dude. And you know what? Maybe Norman did have a conversation with that guy, like in the anime or in the manga that we didn't see. Like, but I really it's disappointing that that's a conversation he had because it makes me be like, this Norman in this world is dumb as fuck. Like,
yeah, that's a problem. Is that you're supposed to treat these kids like they are the most genius children that have ever existed. And anytime that anybody does anything that's a little bit like, well, hold on. That didn't seem like you thought about every single outcome of the situation. Yeah. Like, you should have already had 80 different solutions and gone with the best one. You're supposed to Doctor Strange this shit and go to all these different multiverses and then come back and be like, this is the perfect answer. I'm Norman.
Know your enemy, dude. Don't be like, hey, are you Minerva? Like, I was like, that's fucking dumb. Like, I thought like that was a big stretch. But yeah, that was pointless. And like you said, they have the same animation. And I go like, I guess no, they're not gonna kill him. Maybe they are. I don't fucking know. Whatever. But yeah,
I think the fact it's a made-for-TV movie, anyways. So
no, I don't think it is. I think it actually released in theaters. Yeah,
you would have to go to the movie theaters and then come out and be like, "I just watched that."
Yeah, it's
despicable.
It's So yeah, that was kind of it was unnecessary. Let's see what else. The other thing I didn't like, I fucking despised Ray's hair. Like it fucking killed me.
Yeah,
the fucking helmet they put on this dude.
So all of the kids had pretty shitty hair. Ray's was very offensive, but I get it.
I understand. Yeah,
I know what they were trying to do.
It just looked so bad. I know that like the way that even the characters would stand, like I hated the way that Norman like stood. I was just like, I know what you're trying to do. You're just not nailing it. Also, Ray looked so much younger than them. Like I don't know why they didn't cast somebody that looked older.
Ray had a tiny ass little head, a little face, little body. And then Emma was like a 23-year-old.
Oh yeah, she was like a grown ass woman. I was like, what is this?
So weird. I think Norman and Ray looked okay for their age. I don't think that they looked great for their characters, but for their age, cast pretty well.
For sure.
Emma, she was a little too old.
But I get why they cast her. They needed someone that could act.
She's the main character. She sold the scream. She sold the scream real well.
When she
broke her leg.
Yeah, breaking of the leg was not stole though. I was like, that is the weakest broken leg I've ever seen.
That was just a little like, I'm just gonna bend your knee real quick.
She twisted it. I was like, what is this? I need to see some.
Yeah, but she sold the scream. The scream just happened like after the fact. It was like broken in the background, close up on her face.
Yeah,
it's like, why did it take that long for her to register that mom just broke her leg?
She was shocked, dude. They also did a decent job of like adding some of the other characters. Like, some of them didn't get too much screen time, but you're like, huh, that's supposed to be obviously that kid. And they tried with the hair color, maybe the shape of their hair.
Can you talk about the worst offension in this entire movie?
Oh, okay. Which one is it? Because is it Dawn's hat?
Yes, it is. It's Dawn's fucking hat.
Can I just say that my notes say Dawn's sick ass hat? That's what it is.
I was just like, whoa, Dawn's a b-boy? What, dude?
I was like, who's the kid with the hat? Like, I didn't know. And then later on, we see Dawn. He doesn't have a hat, right?
Yeah, no.
And then he comes back and
normal.
like, then he has a hat again. I was like, fucking Dawn's the hat, dude. Like, that's how they distinguished him. What killed me too was then Dawn put on a hard helmet to go across the thing.
But no, he's not taking off that cap.
But
no way.
But no one else. Yeah, and then no one else put on a hard helmet. And then they're running up the hill.
Dawn has liberties.
Dawn has a hard helmet running up the hill, and then we see them at the top of the hill from the other side. No hard helmet. I go, horrible continuity. Are you fucking kidding me? How am I not going to notice one idiot with a big bright yellow helmet? And you're just going to do this to me, dude? Oh, come on. But yeah, Dawn's hat was trash.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, this motherfucker is not Dawn. That immediately made him somebody else. I don't give a fuck who he is. But Dawn and Gilda, worst duo in this movie. One of them was a b-boy, and Gilda was the most afraid child that's ever existed.
Yeah,
which is kind of similar to her character, I guess, but that's really boiling it down into like, hey, if you had to do one facet of her personality, what would it be?
Total baby. Yeah. Gilda was also just like, she wasn't that great. Another way they cut corners too is instead of lying to them and being like, hey, it's human trafficking, they just go, it's demons. Demons are eating us. Like, they just went straight to it. And I just love Dawn be like, that's bullshit. And then Gilda's just like, is this true? And he goes, yeah. She was like, you would never lie. I believe you. This must be it. And they're like, cool.
Bro, you love Mom so much. I believe you.
Yeah. There's no way you fucking lie. And I was just like, I mean, I guess. But again, this is just another way for them to save the time of them faking them and then having to tell the truth and all that stuff. I was like, okay, I get it.
Which again, it's a lot of the like nuance and stuff that make these characters feel so like forward thinking and so aware of every situation. Like, hey, we're in a terrible situation that literally nobody else can know about because it's such an insane thing that people would think that we're insane. So we have to somehow get other people on board and tell them that it's actually human trafficking. And then they're going to realize that. And if we get them to trust us enough, then we can eventually tell them, by the way, we were lying. It's actually fucking demons, but that sounds insane. So anyways, now that we're this far, let me prove it.
What's also kind of wild, dude, is like that they're super smart, and later on we find out, like in the actual show, in the manga, in the anime, it's just like, yeah, we told the younger kids up until this age because they were able to handle it or whatever. But our three main characters are still just like, we're super smart, but we're also super dumb and can't realize that these other kids are also very smart and could probably understand the capacity of this thing. Like, why would we lie about that? I was just like, yeah, that is a fault. They're so smart, they're dumb sometimes. I do have a question. In the manga, when they're having that conversation with Sister Crone and she's talking about the promise,
this is a long time ago, but yes.
Did that happen? Like, did she say anything about a promise, or is that just
so? I wanted to ask you too. That was specifically something where I'm like, I don't think they learned about the promise until Goldie Pond
later. Yeah, like super,
and it was
way
from
later.
Minerva. Like, wasn't it from that phone call being like, "Hey, by the way, there's a promise. I'm not alive."
Are we talking about? We're talking about the manga, right? Because
yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's the case where they go underground and there's like a phone booth and
where they do the phone call, they learn a little bit, and then she's like, by the way, motherfucker's dead, we gotta learn more stuff. Apparently there's some kind of a promise and we have to figure out this dragon puzzle, and 3 years later.
So it's just like so funny because Sister Crone's just like, she's like telling him all this stuff, and then
Bros,
she's like,
you know about the promise? You know the ancient demon human wars?
But she's like, I was like, what are you doing? And then they're just, all they're saying is like, yeah, where are our trackers? And then she's like, on your ear. It's like, okay, bye. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then later, I'm like, I know we're doubling back, but fucking,
it's fine.
What's his? No, not Ray. What's the other one's name?
Norman's
just like, you Minerva? What about the promise? And he's just like, what? Why are you saying this shit?
You clearly know a lot of stuff, kid. Like, and as Minerva, also a genius, or not Minerva, but you know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's just like, I don't know.
It's just dumb.
He would have never been like, oh man, you're pretty smart. Like, you know who Norman is. You know he's like the smartest person of all time.
You've seen him just like grow up. You get reports on him anyways. What else? Okay. I think scenes that didn't hit as good where the scene like where he's dousing himself in
all of them.
Like, when he's dousing himself in the thing and he's just like having his speech, I was just like, look at you, baby faced Ray. You're gonna light yourself on fire. That shit wasn't as good. Also, I think the interaction with her at the top of the wall with mom, and they're just like having that conversation. Like, also didn't give a fuck.
Not as good, yeah.
What
the memories, the
flashback? Yeah, it's just like. He's like, where we find out that, it's revealed there, like Ray is her actual kid or whatever. The owl that came out of the pen, I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, so throughout a lot of the movie, there were different things that made me feel like this guy wanted to make a Harry Potter movie and he didn't get to, and he's making this. And I felt that way about 30 minutes in. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like, oh, they're in this mystical house and like everything's shot and oh man, it's so crazy, look how big it is and look at how gorgeous outside is, and it's such a magical special area. Like everything, the music, the way that it was shot felt like it was done in like a Harry Potter style. And then at the end when that fucking owl came out of the pen, I was like, this bitch did want to, he was making a Harry Potter movie. That's all that he cared about.
Yeah, he nailed it. Best Harry Potter movie I've seen. Absolutely.
So weird. Why have that special effect in there for no reason? And dude, when Phil was like, look at all of these owls, like, how did that happen?
Phil was also the one that showed him the Morse code. I was like, what the fuck, Phil? Like,
well, they figured out the Morse code, but he was like, look at this stack of books that have owls. Like, if it was Phil, he would be like, guys, have you noticed this? Instead of just bringing up a giant stack and being like, fucking.
Phil's like, look. They all have, they all have the same, and then they're like, Morse code, and like the words bubble up. It was like, come on, dude.
I thought that they did okay with that, but they really didn't explain what the fuck was going on.
Well, they didn't. They only had 2 hours. Like, what were they gonna do?
That was the thing. So many times I'm like, oh man, they did that. Sucks. People don't know what the fuck it means.
It means absolutely. That's how I felt. It was like,
danger,
that's not very
trap.
That's not very helpful, to anybody unless you've seen all of it like us.
Yeah.
That's it, man. I don't really have much more to shit on this thing. It wasn't the worst thing. It for sure wasn't the worst live action I've ever seen. But just watch the first season if you want to see it, because it's a good season. But the manga, I still like the manga a lot. I know people don't like the ending, but it's not as bad as its ending for season 2. Come on now. Like,
and honestly, with season 2 revealing stuff that happens in the final chapter on like the 3rd episode or whatever, it was like, what the fuck?
You're like, what is going on?
Why would you reveal it that early? Oh, it's because you're wrapping it up and you're not actually doing the story.
Because you're giving up. Okay, cool. I know that, like, I think if a second one of this came out, I would have to watch it because I would want to know.
It was tolerable.
But I would really want to know, like, hey, are you going to do manga? Are you going to do anime?
Did you kill off the characters that you showed were clearly going to get killed off? Or is this even bigger of a trick than the manga had? Because the manga would just show you images of them dead out of context.
Yeah.
So that made you feel like, they're probably dead. For sure dead. Other times it would do that to give you the, like, oh man, everybody at the house is gonna get killed, like that kind of a feeling, right?
Yeah.
But then other times it was like, no, these are all just dead characters. Oh, okay. It turns out 2 of them weren't dead. Like,
two really important ones aren't dead. Yeah.
It's tricked me, got me good. But I thought that was fine though, because you didn't see him die, and I never had qualms with that. I was just like, well, their story ends there. There's no reason for me to see them die. I mean,
well, it's the rule, right? It's the fucking what is it?
If you don't see them die, they're
Escape Room Tournament of Champions. You know what I realized? You and I talked about this. You're like, oh, dude, Escape Room Tournament of Champions. Like, if you don't see him die, that didn't really happen or whatever. And like we talked about it in the pod. I didn't realize we didn't see anybody die except for the Mexican guy in the first one, right? Because the drunk priest went under the sand to save that girl, but so did the other guy who went under the sand and then was brought to in the pod. The two girls that were burnt by acid, we didn't actually see them die. So it's like, they're all okay, maybe. We don't know.
Maybe, we don't know. Who fucking cares?
And that was Tournament of Champions talk. Thank you for listening. The last thing we have to do, if we're done talking about the movie, is just rank it in our long list of live action
I've been excited about this. Put it above Erased.
Erased the movie or the Netflix series?
Yeah, the movie. Netflix series is still up there, man.
Netflix series is still the top one for both of us. So you're going to go, okay, so Promise, Neverland. Okay, cool. So your list goes Erased, the Netflix series, I Am Hero, The Way of the House Husband TV show, which actually was pretty good. Okay, we're going to talk about that. It was pretty good.
It made I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, that show was a lot better than the show.
Yeah, it made us be like, it made us think we should probably stop watching this because it's going to ruin stuff for the anime that we're really excited to see.
No.
Okay. Then you got Parasite Part 1. You got Death Note, Light Up the New World. Inuyashiki, Gintama movie, Kids on the Slope. Anohana, another. Then you got Promised Neverland, which we just added, the movie, right? Erased the movie. Bleach, the Netflix movie. Fullmetal Alchemist, the Netflix movie. Mushishi. You got it that low? I thought you liked Mushishi.
The movie sucked.
That's right. You like the anime.
Yeah, I'm like, I love Mushishi. That's why it's so low.
Okay, then Elle Saves the World, Death Note Part 1, Death Note Part 2. Actually, just 1 and 2, not parts. Then Orange. God, we watched an Orange one? God,
yeah, dude, we did.
Death Note, Netflix movie.
The tree.
Netflix, Mob Psycho 100 on Netflix. Kakaguri on Netflix. Future Diaries, Another World. That was horrible. Oran High School Host Club, the drama. King's Game. Death Note drama. That was also very bad. Attack on Titan. And then at the very bottom, Devilman. That's your list. Where am I going for it? I feel like
it was really in that Anohana range, but Anohana had a better feeling than this to me.
I agree. I'm going to also put mine above the Erased movie and then below Anohana. So, which you just have another
which
above it.
Honestly, man, I don't fucking remember. It probably fits right there. Who cares?
It's been so long. This list is just so massive.
I love it though. I love how I like that one more apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I usually go through the list the same, but I mean, it's pretty similar. I think I just liked. Let's see. I liked Attack on Titan a little bit more than you, and I hated. No, I also hate Devilman. It's down there.
It's pretty terrible.
All right, man. That's it. That's the show. Thanks for hanging out with this live action garbage. We don't get to do these all that often, but when we do, usually it's a really fun time, and very rarely are we like surprised by how good it is. And this wasn't a case of that. This was pretty trash.
It was not good. It was not like terrible, but it wasn't good.
It's in the middle, absolutely. Like in between from our list, it's in the middle. But it's still garbage. So yeah. Okay, so we don't know what we're doing next week. We'll figure it out.
There's always something. There's something bubbling under those waters.
Yeah. So if you like our, what is it? Is that it? If you like our theme song, check out Not Mars on Spotify. Trip, where can you find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instagram Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instagram Podcast. If you want to send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast Interfit.
And sometimes we stream on Twitch while we record as well. Twitch.tv/Crispather. If you have any kind of thoughts or opinions about things that we say, you can email us instagrampodcast@gmail.com. We got an email from listener Jeff,
from the boy,
who was absolutely led astray. from us repeatedly saying that we were going to review the Godzilla that Trigger made, which doesn't exist.
No, but he was so pumped to watch the Trigger Godzilla, and then he goes, "Oh, fuck is Bones?
We're boning it up, boys." And so,
sorry, Jeff.
Whoops.
That's on us.
Yeah. Anyways, if you do want to listen to us more, I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and just like letting us be who we are. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, this is bye from Juan.
See you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.